Yes, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, my dear students. If you're not up to date, like the notes you are using, or you don't have the notes yet, there is a link below in the description. There is a link below. For that link, you will be able to access these notes so that you can prepare yourself. Let's look at blood grouping. Blood grouping. Do you know your blood type? All right. Different blood groups are as a result of multiple alleles. When you talk about an allele, we say that it is an alternative form of a gene. For example, let me talk about height. For example, you might be tall or you might be short. You have the allele for tallness or you have alleles for shortness. So it means that if it is a character is height, but this height has two alternative forms. The gene is height, but has two alternative forms of it, whether you are tall or you are short. So that's what we say that allele. So it is an alternative form of a gene. But now when you say multiple alleles, it means that it's more than two. So blood group is controlled by multiple alleles. It has more than two alleles. Three or more alternative form of a gene, that is the allele. Yes, you have a gene, but it can exist in different forms. Yes, that can occupy the same locus. That's what we call the multiple allele. Three or more alternative form of a gene that can occupy the same locus. When you say locus, locus is the location of the gene on the chromosome. So it is the same location of the gene on the chromosome, but you have different or many alleles in that location. So you're saying that, however, only two of the alleles can be present in a single organism. Why should it be two? It's because you have two parents. You have the father and you have the mother. So one allele must come from the father and one allele must come from the mother. The alleles the father has and the alleles the mother has, so one of it will come from each parent, and then they combine so that they form your alleles. So that's the meaning that, however, two of the alleles must be present in a single organism. For example, if you look at a blood group, you have the what called the phenotype and you have the what called the genotype. The phenotype, sometimes it is the blood type or the blood group. The blood group, that is the phenotype, what you see. Because when I ask you which type of blood group are you or do you have, or you say I have blood group A, so that is what we can see, at least, because phenotype means what is outside. And then a genotype, but what is the composition of that blood group A? Is it homozygous or it's heterozygous? So that is what called the genotypes. You are describing your blood group in terms of genes, the kind of genes you do have. So we are saying that you have blood group A, you have blood group B, you have blood group AB, and blood group O. Blood group A can be in two different ways. You can be homozygous or you can be heterozygous. Homozygous, homo means the same. So when you say homozygous, it means that you have the same kinds of alleles. You have this A and A, you see. And then heterozygous, you have this A, which is the dominant, and then a recessive one. Blood group B also has two kinds of genotypes. You have homozygous blood group B, it is the same kind, or it has heterozygous. Hetero means different. Then you have blood group AB. This one, it only has one option, which is AB. And this is co-dominant, whereby the two alleles are expressed equally in the phenotype. And then you see you have blood group O. Blood group O also has one option, that is two recessive alleles. So it means that if you have blood group O, it means that you have a recessive allele for blood type. Now, you need to know this. You need to understand this before you go for your exam. When they say blood group A, these are how many, they can ask you a question. How many phenotypes do blood groups have? You have how many phenotypes? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4. How many phenotypes? There are 4. How many alleles? How many alleles controlling blood group? You see, it's being controlled by 3 blood group: allele A, allele B, and allele the small I. So those are the 3. How many genotypes do we have in blood group? You have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6. So the genotypes, there are 6. The phenotypes, there are 4. And then alleles, there are 3. We're going to look at that one in detail. So we are saying that blood groups, you have A, you have B, you have AB, and you have O. These blood groups are being determined by the red blood cells. So which kind of antigens do you have? So you see that blood group A has this kind of antigen, blood group B has this kind of antigen, blood group AB you have this kind of antigen, blood group O you have this kind of antigen. So this one makes which blood group, who donates to who, and who receives from who. So because of this kind of antigen, if it is not compatible, then it means that you can't receive or you can't do it. That's why blood group O, it can donate to anyone. Why? Because it doesn't have the recognition sites. And then blood group AB, it can receive from anyone. Why? Because it has both for this one and then this from this. So can receive from anyone. Why? Because it has the universal receptors. All right. So we are saying that alleles A, B, and I in different combination results in 4 different blood groups. That's what I've explained here, that you have 4 different blood groups. You have A, B, AB, and O. So you have 3 alleles. The first one is A, the second one is B, and the third one is I, small I. These alleles must be written like that. Don't modify the writing. Don't shade it. Don't put an O. Some people, when they are writing, they write I and then they put a small O on the top. That's not I. It must be I and a dot on top. You have to be able to write. That's how you are supposed to write it. However, some books, they can show that, yes. So with this, our standards, we don't want you supposed to write the I the way it's supposed to be. So here you can see that you have 3 different alleles, that is A, B, and small I. Then you have 4 different types of blood groups: A, B, AB, and O. So it means that all these ones are being controlled by these 3 alleles. These ones must combine to form these 4 blood groups. Then here is the table trying to describe what I've been trying to explain. So this is the blood group, sometimes call it the phenotype. Yes, what we see. These are the alleles, sometimes we call them genotypes. Why? Because the alleles are genes. So genotypes is description of an organism based on its genetic composition. So you have A, you can be homozygous A or heterozygous A. You can be homozygous B or heterozygous B. You can be codominant AB, or you can be homozygous recessive. O. So this is homozygous dominant. This is also homozygous dominant because this is the dominant allele, and then O is a recessive, so it's a homozygous recessive. So make sure that you understand these concepts because they will ask you. So A is, if your blood group A outside, yes, we know that your blood group A, but genotypically, which kind of blood group are you having? Is it homozygous or it is heterozygous? So you need to understand those concepts. That's why you find out that a person of blood group A marries a person of blood group B, and then they produce a kid of blood group O. How is that possible? It is possible, and some people used to deny their kids, yet they are their kids. That me, I'm blood group A. Yes, you're blood group A. The mother is blood group B. Yes, you're blood group B. How comes that I have a kid of blood group O? It is possible. If I have a mother of blood group A, heterozygous, and a father of blood group B, heterozygous, I can produce blood group O. Why? Because this small I, or the recessive I, and a recessive I from here, when they combine, they form two recessive I's. Remember I said that you obtain these alleles from your parents, one from the father, one from the mother, and then you form your genotype. So it means that one I from the mother, one I from the father can have two alleles combining to form blood group O. So it is what? It is possible. So let's look at some of the problems. When you talk about problems, we look at some questions of blood group. Susan with blood group A, with blood group AB, marries John with blood group O. What will be the possible genotypes of their offspring? What could be the possible genotypes of their offspring? Then let's look at it. So in this case, you're supposed to find out what is the genotype, what's the phenotype, and what's the genotype. So now you write P1, F1, yes, and then P1 means first parent 1. So meaning that the first generation. So it means that you're saying that always the phenotype is obtained from the question, always from the question. Look at the question, read it nicely, you'll find the phenotype there. So you're saying that Susan of blood group AB, Susan of blood group AB, yes, marries John of blood group O, marries, cross means marries John of blood group O. This AB is heterozygous, has one option. O also has one option. So that one is, this question is just open for you, just to get marks for Mahala. So we are saying that genotype, the genotype, because we know that blood group A, blood group O looks like this, blood group AB looks like this. So these are genotypes. So you need to know the genotypes. So now we are saying that the genotype of blood group AB is like this, genotype of blood group O is like this. So these two, meiosis must take place. When meiosis takes place, so it produces what called a gametes. So meiosis must take place. You must write this one there. It divides these genotypes into two gametes. So we are saying that the gametes are being formed. The first one is your blood group A, yes. Blood group B, yes. Blood group B is A from here, and then B comes here. Then O, they divide one from here, and then one from there. So they form 4 of them. So after that, since fertilization must take place, we need this. Fertilization takes place. When it takes place, you have now the allele. You have these two, you put them on top, and then these two, you put them down or here. You can reverse them. Put these ones here, put these ones here. It still is the same thing. You don't need to cram. As long as one, put them here, one, put them there. Yes. So now this crosses with this, because when I draw a line here and a line here, yes, they meet here. You see? So now this and this, you have A, capital A, small I. Then you have this and this, you have I, capital B, and then small I. Then this, when I come here in this box, this with this, so it's gonna be capital A and then small I. So it must be, you begin with a capital letter and then you end with a small letter. So you have this and this, so you have capital I, small capital B, and then small I. So that is the genotypes of the offspring. So the first F1 generation of F1 genotypes, you're gonna have A, this one, and this one. These are the genotypes of F1. Why not others? Because this and this is the same, so 2 of them, and then this and this is the same, 2 of them. So basically, have the ratio is 1 to 1. 2 to 2. When you reduce it, it goes to 1 to 1. Then the ratio is 1 to 1. The genotype, the phenotype, though they didn't ask you, but you can write it. You have blood group A. Yes, this is blood group A. Don't say blood group A homozygous or heterozygous. No, we don't see the homozygosity or heterozygosity in a person. You can't see that unless you go to the genes. So what we see outside, it is blood group A, and what we see outside is blood group B. You don't need to describe what is real inside. Just say blood group A, blood group B. And then basically that's it. Now let's look at how do we mark. When we are marking, we come here. Sometimes there is a compulsory mark, so it depends on the examiner. So we are saying that P1 F1, we give you a tick. We give you a tick there. They're saying that meiosis, fertilization. The word meiosis and fertilization, just writing them, you get a mark, even if you don't have anything here. As long as you write them like this, you get a what? A tick. Then it means that don't forget to write them. Then you have genotype, we can give you a tick. Yes, phenotype, we can give you a tick. See? And then writing the gametes, we can give you a tick. And then here I also give you a tick. Yes, and then here you also give you a tick. So if it is out of 5, and then for example there is a compulsory mark, for example, or they say that according to the question, the genotypes, so you must write the genotypes. Yes, the genotypes. If that is the compulsory mark, even if you get 7 here and you didn't write this, and the question is out of 5, you get 4. Why? Because you didn't get the correct answer of the compulsory mark. We first count the compulsory mark, then after that, then we can count any other. So make sure that when you are writing, at least maximize, do whatever you all the steps, write all the steps, so that if the compulsory mark is there, you can get it. So this is the practice question. Let's look at the practice question here. It must be guided by the teacher. So now I'm your teacher. All right, Cabello of blood group A marries Carabo of blood group B, and they produced children of blood group O. Use the genetic cross to show the phenotypic ratio of their offspring. They want the phenotypes, so the phenotypic ratio. In this case, what we are supposed to do is go back to the table and see they said blood group A marries blood group B, produce kid of blood group O. I think I explained this. So it means that it's gonna be heterozygous blood group A and the heterozygous of blood group B, because when I try to cross them, they produce blood group O. Then you come back to the question. So it means that these parents, they were heterozygous to produce blood group O, which is a recessive. So now you have to do a genetic cross, P1, F1, phenotype, then you tell us genotype, you tell us meiosis must take place to produce the gametes, fertilization must take place, because now you have the gametes, you have the sperms and you have the ova. So now the fertilization must take place. When they takes place, then you produce the offsprings. The offsprings will be genotypes. Those genotypes, then convert them into phenotypes, and then find how many blood group A, how many blood group B, how many blood group AB, and how many blood group O. Then they're saying that how many alleles controlling blood groups. How many alleles? We saw this one. How many alleles? There are 3 alleles. Blood group, allele A, allele B, and then allele I, small I. Yes, we saw them. And then how many blood group types do humans have? They have 4: A, B, AB, and O. Basically, that's it. Next class, we are going to be looking at dihybrid cross. Don't forget to subscribe if it is your first time to attend this class. See you.